So they had 2 videos. One was Spanish and one was English, and they were meant to send school visits to entice students to enroll at Tulsa Tech. And so Ryan came to us and just wanted us to vamp them up. And so I took that ask, the transcript, and kind of pitched, I think, 3 concepts because that's my go-to. Sent them to Ryan, and one of them, Silver Dollar Shave Club, is one of my favorite spokesperson videos. And so we had pitched doing that. But within their budget, we were like, we could do it on the white walls.
Founded in 1999 by Jason Burks, Retrospec Films is Oklahoma's largest turnkey production company of its kind. With a full-time team of over 20 talented individuals, a 12,000 square foot studio to create in, and a resume that spans some of the world's largest brands, if you love learning about filmmaking and storytelling, you've come to the right place. On each episode, we discuss the pursuit of creating things and the problems we solve by digging up projects from the last 20 years, giving you a glimpse behind the scenes where the magic happens. You're listening to Retrospec Films from the Archives.
Hello and welcome to Retrospec from the Archives. This is our in-house podcast where we dig up projects from the past and talk about all the problems that we solve creatively, producing, logistics, writing, shooting, all the things. So today, joined with me, I have Tayler.
Hello.
Creative Development Director, writer, and also my wife. And we have Caroline.
Hello.
Writer. What else?
Creative
what other titles?
strategist,
Director,
director,
creative strategist, lots of things. So I guess you spend most of your time listening to people, writing things that are great ideas from what they said, and then sometimes directing those ideas on set.
Yes. Nailed it.
So, exactly. All right. So today we are going to dig into a project for Career Tech or Tulsa Tech?
Tulsa Tech.
Tulsa Tech, good thing, because my brain was in a totally different space.
That's okay.
All right, so we're going to talk about Tulsa Tech. And Tulsa Tech, before I begin the conversation, I will say, has always been a special place to me. My sister went there. I did some of the tech program stuff in the Career Tech system when I was in high school. I've always been a big believer of, learn how to do something and then do it. Nothing against college. College is great, too. But I think that I really love the tech system because I'm like, you get a skill, take the skill, go do the thing, make a living, live a happy life, buy some land, watch the sunset, die.
They should hire you.
I know.
To make an ad.
And you don't even have to die if you don't want to.
I like the death at the end.
you
That's
can
really
totally-
convincing that you should go
You
to
can
Tulsa Tech.
totally stay alive as well if you want to. So this Tulsa Tech project, I really don't know a whole lot. So this is going to be very authentic for me to discover this. Who wants to start by telling me what the need was? What did they want?
Yeah.
All right.
So they had 2 videos. One was Spanish and one was English, and they were meant to send to students or play at different, school visits. And thank you.
Yeah.
What am I? Program visits? School visits to entice students to enroll at Tulsa Tech. And so they just really wanted to revamp them. They were on a white wall, I think, and just a spokesperson talking to camera. There was some random videos that interjected. Anyways, they were great, but they just were a little bit outdated. And so Ryan came to us and just wanted us to vamp them up. And so I took that ask, the transcript, and kind of pitched, I think, 3 concepts because that's my go-to. You get 3 concepts if you need concepts from us. And sent them to Ryan. And one of them, Silver Dollar Shave Club, is one of my favorite spokesperson videos. And so we had pitched doing that. But within their budget, we were like, we could do it on the white wall. So that's what we decided to do. So I scripted that. I took the transcript and kind of wrote it more in the sarcastic, quippy tone that Silver Dollar Shave Club is. And then I can't remember if you were in the initial writing process or if you got pulled in. I know I think I showed it to you.
Yeah, I was in the brainstorm.
Yes.
We went to Perea with Devin and Chris, and it was a very zany brainstorm.
Oh my gosh.
One
it
where
felt like
there was
a
a lot of
fever
giggling.
dream. And somewhere I was like, I'll write that down, but they're not going to use
Yeah.
that.
And me and Chris, for some reason, we were just like, yeah, that's a great idea.
It was so funny.
Because it's for high schoolers. And
Yeah.
we wanted it to be funny and silly and zany.
Feel
and
a little meta. It was fun. So
Yeah.
I think I did. I think I wrote the first script, and then I pulled Devin, Chris, and Caroline into a brainstorm at Perea, and I think that's how you say that coffee shop's name. But we sat there, I think, for like an hour and a half, and it was wild. Like, I mean, and some of the things did land, like when Chris points to camera and lifts up his finger and has a little face on it. Like, they loved that. And, but there were a couple other things. Was Cole a part of that?
No.
I felt like he had puppets. Okay. Anyways.
I think later on, he always just wants to do puppets.
That's true.
So I think we just thought of him like, we could do puppets for Cole.
That's true. But there were a lot of, like, wild ideas.
Well, I think...
But it was so funny.
I'm going to pause you real quick. So let's watch it.
Okay.
And then we can keep talking about it.
That's a good idea.
So people can get a frame of reference.
What's next? Every high schooler's favorite question.
What's next after high school?
Okay. Imagine if what's next begins right now. 2 words. Tulsa Tech. And at Tulsa Tech, you're not going to get stuck sitting in a row memorizing a bunch of random facts for a test. Now, don't get me wrong. You will be taking a test, but the true mark of success is by what you do. You learn by doing.
That's my book.
Because the world needs more doers. So, whether you're into welding, building, coding, designing, diagnosing, cooking, whatever your next step is, college or career, Tulsa Tech has the competitive edge to help you get there. So, if you want that hands-on training that'll set you apart, your journey starts here. Tastes like employment. And cinnamon. And nutmeg. Do we have any more of these? Okay. These are great. Just a few more. Oh, also, Tulsa Tech has over 80 different programs just for high schoolers. Check them out. Visit tulsatech.edu, click the full-time career programs link, and look for the HS symbol. We've got 6 campuses, morning classes from 8 to 11, afternoon classes from 12 to 3, free transportation from your high school, and 0 tuition. Yep, all of our programs are completely free. Free? Free. Free? Free. Free. It's free. 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 It's free. Time to fill out that application. But first, let's talk admissions. Our admission process uses a 100-point scale. 40 points come from academic readiness. This is based on reading and math scores from tests you've already taken. Your career advisor will meet with your school counselor to grab those for you. No scores? No problem. You can take an assessment at our testing center. Easy. The only other thing is the program visit, worth 60 points. These visits happen Thursday afternoons from 3 to 4. You can schedule your visit at tulsatech.edu. Show up, ask questions, get credit. Boom. And remember, every point counts.
Every point counts!
Ready to apply? Go to tulsatech.edu/apply. Click the red Submit an Application button and register for an account. Then log in with the email and password you just used. From there, fill out your application, pick the correct school year, your grade level for next year, and when you want to attend, morning or afternoon. Need help? Every high school has a Tulsa Tech career advisor. Don't know yours? Ask your school's front office. They'll point you in the right direction. Finally, click Submit, schedule a visit, and come get a glimpse of your future. Oh, and don't wait until right before the priority deadline. Programs fill up fast. So, the next time someone asks you, what's next? You could tell them, Tulsa Tech.
And cut.
Hey, that was great.
Okay.
Good job. Next time, let's just do Tulsa Tech, just a little bigger.
Yeah.
But so good.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let's reset everybody.
Okay, so I see what you're talking about with Littlefinger, which is hilarious. And this is funny because, I somehow just avoided this project completely. Not on purpose. Love Tulsa Tech.
Yeah.
Just somehow I was not working that day, and I was not a part of creative, and I had no idea it was happening, and I never watched the proofs. So it got all the way to completion, and I was like, what do you know? There's a little person talking on
amazing.
Chris's finger.
I know.
And there's a cookie. Like, I was having flashbacks of that Walmart shit with the cookie.
Being pulled out.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. And, I think Jess and I, from a client management perspective, had a lot of conversations of, what we thought the client might cut ahead of time just to be aware. And they, didn't want to remove any of it.
I had
think
full confidence. I was like, no, they're keeping that. I was like, nah, they'll never cut it. But I'm always like that.
Yeah, I love that confidence. I was like, for sure, the finger's getting cut. And I think Ryan was like, that's a little weird, but the admissions team loves it. So we kept the finger. But
I think
awesome.
it is fun. It keeps your attention the whole time.
It totally does.
So,
and that was the point.
Yeah. So, Caroline, let's talk a little bit about your involvement. Sounds like you had a little bit of involvement in creative, which is always helpful when you're going to direct something. I think you directed this.
I did.
I don't know what anybody does around here anymore.
That's okay.
So tell me your journey.
Yeah. So,
this.
like Tayler was saying, I got to be involved in the creative a little bit. And then when it came time to cast, Jess and Tay included me in that as well. So we got to pick our spokespeople. Chris ended up being
like a no-brainer.
A no-brainer, yeah, because this is his personality, to be a goofball. And so we actually did a scout and kind of like a choreography block through because a lot of these shots were like on the movie.
Yeah.
And so we needed to really know exactly where our person was going to start and end and where the cut points were going to be. And so that was pretty planned out and thought through. And we kind of talked about what props would be needed, what would make the visuals feel a little bit more alive. And then Tayler and Jess actually executed that, but I got to weigh in a little bit.
And Maddie helped a lot on
and
that
Maddie,
too.
Yes, Maddie helped. And then, the day of, I just kind of got to do my thing. And it's fun when it's a spokesperson because you have one person that you're getting to really just like hype up. And honestly, you get to do so many different options. Like I feel like I would have Chris do it 6 different ways.
Yeah.
And so then when Kyle got it in post, he got to pick his favorite, which was great. And we helped a little bit. But
I feel like we also have to give Chris some credit because I think he was casted like 2 days, 3 days before that shoot and had to memorize all those lines. And he killed it.
He did.
That's great.
Yeah.
And there was this one section that was like particularly like a long bit of information that he had to memorize. But then also the shot was really interesting. I'm sure HT will talk about it, but it was like this moment where we go from him on the white wall to him basically like stepping out of the video, and we kind of have like this meta behind the scene moments where you suddenly see the boom pole operator, and then you see the client looking at the client monitor, and you see Jess who's kind of like, just keep rolling as the producer.
Yep.
And then Chris steals the writer's laptop, and then we keep following him in. And that was a very like specific thing where I was having to choreograph lots of people at that point to do the right thing, to help Chris know his blocking and say the right thing and pick up the laptop and have it in the right like angle to where we could go in to do a screen recording.
Yeah.
So that was probably the hardest bit of the video. And then another moment of it that kind of stands out to me is the ending shot where we have him on like a walking pad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Tayler and I's walking pad at the end. And then a green screen behind him showing like the Lindley Memorial Campus, which is like their home base for Tulsa Tech. And so he's like walking, we have like a fan on him, and he's saying his last line, and then we cut and we do kind of the meta thing behind the scenes, and everybody comes back in. We see kind of all of the players of the production crew, and then I get to go in and say a line and kind of give him feedback. So that was really fun to be an actor in the thing you're directing as well. But those are the 2 kind of moments that stand out to me as like the most entertaining and kind of the most difficult on set when it came to like choreography and directing. But they were really fun. They turned out great.
They did.
Did you guys, I guess, both, were you giving creative feedback in the post-production process?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think when we got it into post, we realized that the male version, the English version, and then the female version, the Spanish version, needed to feel slightly different. So if you watch the Spanish version, you don't have all of the quirkiness. I think we kept the free a little less like
goofball and more just like exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was just playing off of their personalities, right?
Yeah.
We knew what Chris was going to be like. Our female actress for the Spanish, she was fantastic.
She was amazing.
She was very poised and had just like a natural like swagger.
Yes.
And like but that just meant that it needed to go a little bit of a different direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was, I feel like you shined in the English piece, but like talk about directing in Spanish. Because that's a challenge.
That was interesting. Yeah. So So I grew up speaking Spanish, but like I did like your classic Spanish education through school, and I did like AP Spanish and went on like some mission trips like to Guatemala and things like that. And so I do have a bit of a Spanish background, but it's been a long time since I've really like used it. However, like I do have a pretty good vocabulary in Spanish, and so I can definitely understand Spanish when I hear it, but speaking it back can be kind of difficult. But again, the actress that I was working with, she was definitely bilingual. And so, I mean, I did try to give her like some help, not line readings, but saying her lines in Spanish to help with inflections. But also she would have been fine if I was doing it in English too. Like she understood. So that was helpful. But as far as like the proofing, I was so thankful for my Spanish background because I could be like, oh, nope, that's the wrong conjugation. Let's use this other take. Or even in the graphics, because there are a lot of motion graphics in this. Oh, that's, again, the wrong conjugation or wrong spelling, or actually you'd say it like this way to make it less formal or whatever. So that was really helpful. Just kind of a back pocket skill that I had. And so, yeah, I'm thankful because it would have been really confusing probably if I didn't know any Spanish. So...
Well, I'd like to bring Jessica and Jacob in, who Jess produced and Jacob shot. But before you guys leave, any other little nuggets? How do you feel it turned out? It's kind of a wild idea. Now it's out there.
It turned out amazing. And I just want to say to the post side really quick, like Kyle and Maddie, and I think Cole worked on this too. Like they really killed it.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like what made this piece pretty unique as well is like there's no music driving the emotion. So everything there's like a little piece where music comes in, but a lot of it's sound effects. And so Kyle did a really great job making it feel full with a very empty space.
Yeah.
And I know we were constantly being like, add this here and this needs more here. But Kyle did fantastic. And then Maddie always just like kills graphics.
Yeah.
And I think that really made this piece unique. Because a lot of times when you're watching things like this, it is the music that's driving the emotion.
Yeah.
But we didn't use that as a factor in this.
And I think that was your idea, Taylor. And at first I was like... I don't know if that's going to work because, I mean, that's a lot of sound effects. But Kyle did a great job. And I also think Chris's acting
100%.
also was what allowed us to be able to go that route. Because if at any point his facial expressions or inflections or just energy had fallen flat, we would have been like, we need a track to save this. But because it was just so great and fast and the pacing was nice, we were able to go that route, and I think it does make it unique, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So.
And the Spanish girl did great, too.
Yeah, she did.
She did. I don't think we had ever worked with her before.
No.
She killed it.
All right, well, let's get Jess and Jacob in here.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right. I've got Jessica. I've got Jacob.
Hello.
The Hightowers and me. So
That could be a new podcast.
It could be. The
Hightowers and
it'd be
me.
called Me and the Hightowers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Jessica, let's talk about this first from a client management perspective, maybe. I know that you work with Tulsa Tech. You've worked with Ryan for a while now. And, Tayler did touch a little bit on the need here. I know you were right there kind of in that entire process. So just talk to me a little bit about, like, how you felt from the perspective of Tulsa Tech saying, we need this is what we came up with, and then them feeling like hopefully they got what they wanted.
Yeah, so we saw their old video and kind of understood the need that they needed with the new video. It was dated, it was kind of static, and they wanted to, these are younger kids in high school that they're wanting to entertain.
Yeah.
So they wanted it to be fun and kind of, to catch their attention while the kids will be paying attention and not like, oh my gosh, this is another orientation video or something. So that was a challenge as well, but it was also fun because we got to like write fun, zany things, not just be like, cut and dry. And I think that's what the client wanted. They wanted something fun. They wanted something fresh. And I'm really happy with what Tayler and Caroline had written. And then Chris, he executed it very well. He's very zany, which was awesome. But the client was really, really excited about it. They even came on set to sit in and kind of watch stuff. As Ryan said, to see how the sausage is made. That's how he called it. And we were in one of the scenes where we had a lot of choreography that we were kind of figuring out. And they loved it. They were really, really excited. And so Once we got to the post-production part of the project, we were editing and doing all these things. They didn't have many revisions. They were so excited about it.
Yeah.
And I think they used it. Once we delivered the final, they used it the next day in something. So
Wow.
that's pretty
cool.
great. You know,
Yeah.
that shows how much they needed it and how much amazing work we did for it. So.
Well, I'm going to dig into the cinematography here in just a second, Jacob.
Yep.
But before we move on, Jess, tell me about the producing. Because, I mean, there's some aspects of this where I would go, okay, this could be, should be, probably was easier that it was in our studio. But then also it did have the annoyance of, like, seamlessness and turnarounds, which, like, the talent, you know, can't screw up because of the seamlessness and all that. So tell me just a little bit about, like, the producing of it. Like, what were the elements that you had to bring together? Was it easy? Was it hard?
No, I mean, well, I always think that scheduling and, you know, looking at a script and kind of blocking it out into a timeline is fun and easy. But kind of looking at it after Caroline and Tayler and I went on the white wall and kind of mapped out everything, we were able to go, or I was able to go back and kind of say, okay, well, I think this scene will take this much time. So then I break out the highlighters, I sit down and I, you know, name scenes like 1A, 2A, whatever. And so then I go through and I put them in a schedule. And then I really have to think about the seamlessness when it comes to a shot because they can't screw up. And that line was so long. And so poor Chris, we were like, nope, that wasn't it. Let's do it again. Nope, that wasn't it. And he's like, ugh, this line is so long. But I have to take that into account when I'm making a schedule and all of that. And then it's nice that we're in our own studio. But the last scene was we were breaking out the track. Well, we were going to, but then I think we broke out the slider in the end. But we had like dinosaurs in the shot because you kind of break the fourth wall, I guess, and you see, right? I don't know.
You do.
Yeah. You see the things in the background because he's walking with Tulsa Tech in the background, and then it goes zip. And then you see, you know, the green wall and all of this film stuff like we're on a big set.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, but I needed more time for that. So you
Right.
kind of have to allot the time for each individual shot, and experience helps. But yeah, it was fun to make the schedule, and we got it done in 2 days. One day was English, and one day was Spanish. So.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep.
Well, Jacob, dig into the cinematography for me and, you know, also including some of the lighting. What was your approach? What cameras did you pick? What lenses did you use? Why?
Yeah, we were using the C500 full frame aspect just to give it, you know, we were shooting, I think, 6K just to give them options in the edit to either, you know, crop in and whatnot. But I was shooting on a Movi Pro. Now, granted, I had autofocus lens on my camera so that I could track their face. That works well when you're just tracking one individual. It's really hard when you start to have people pass through the frame.
Yep.
So I knew on this one I don't have to have anybody pulling for me. I can lock onto Chris or whoever's talking to camera. I can lock onto their face. But with it, I knew it was going to be a bit of a song and dance. I knew that there was going to be a lot of choreography that we had to hit and kind of sometimes tracks, like dolly tracks, and it can just be cumbersome when it comes to like hitting point A, point B, point C, point D, and et cetera. So I decided we're gonna have the motion stabilize, or you know, we're gonna have the gimbal system, and I'm gonna follow and track around with people. And it worked out really, really good. Now, you know, talent had to just make sure they hit their marks, hit their lines, which we did fantastic at. You know, there was some issues as far as just memorizing lines, but man, it's a lot when you start to get into that choreographing. Like you're thinking about where you're stepping, what you're grabbing, how, like it's a juggle.
Well, and the line was like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, so I mean, we just worked through it and we got it, and honestly, that is one of my favorite parts of it. It's when we break that fourth wall and he eats that cookie, and then he's just like he kind of like controls the show at that point, and it's like chaos. You think,
Yeah.
you're like, you see you just like,
I'm like-
continue to roll.
I'm like,
you
keep
see our
rolling.
audio guy, which was really not our audio. Like, it was just Josh with the boom pole running around in the back.
Which I had to say that in Spanish. Estoy jugando or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't even remember what it was. Anyways.
That's funny.
So that was, that was all really fun. I had a great experience with that, and I love getting to use our studio to its potential.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in that particular shot, we really got to, because you get to kind of spin around. I mean, like, I was looking at little details that probably only I see, but maybe other people. But like our toolbox in the back, and like they're just like little Easter eggs of like, oh yeah, that's definitely our studio. Like the trailers and. But for the most part, we shot it. It was fun. It was zany. I did some locked off stuff to where I had to like rack to his finger, and I was like, "What? We're shooting his finger. His finger's gonna say some stuff." Yeah, but it actually turned out, and I started thinking from like a high school kid perspective, and I'm like, that grabbed my attention, and it kept it. It's like. It's just one of those things that I was proud to be a part of it, and get to make some creative decisions when I'm shooting it. But we had all the parameters that were already set up, and I kind of knew exactly what I needed to capture.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of
doing it,
getting it done. So
that's great.
It was a good shoot.
Well, I thought it turned out pretty good. I think you guys should be really proud of it. I was saying earlier how I didn't even barely know it happened or what was happening or when it got edited, or like I think I saw it for the first time yesterday. So
yeah,
hey, that's a win.
That is a win.
Everything doesn't need me. So
honestly, I think yesterday was my first time seeing it too.
Well, I've seen it a million times.
I know you.
But
Because you have to
get feedback.
Exactly.
Yes.
So usually I'm on to that next one.
You're shooting another one when I'm leaving feedback on what we just shot.
Exactly.
Well, we appreciate you guys joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the things you learned about what we do. If you want to see more, we've got 50, 60 episodes between season 1 and season 2 of our podcast. Check them out on our website, retrospectfilms.com, or wherever you watch your podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.